Welcome, dear chess friends. We are here with Grandmaster Alexei Dreyev. Hi, Alexei.
Hi, Pierre.
And we will start to speak about the dxc5 line. So dc5 is probably, okay, not probably, for sure, white's most common continuation if you check the statistic. And our move will be e6. And here, of course, white has some moves. And we will start this journey by studying the move bishop e3. Why bishop e3? Because it's the most concrete move. White wants to keep a pawn. Now white has an extra pawn and white defends the extra pawn. We will play the move knight d7, attacking c5 and d5. And now white has two main options. Knight f3, position line but a bit armless, or bishop b5, more concrete line. And now Alexei will explain us his view of this variation.
Hi, all.
What do you think about bishop e3, Alexei?
Logical move, but nobody to play against me in bishop e3. So I have no practical experience here, but maybe after our course, a lot of people will play bishop e3 against me. I don't know. But bishop e3 is, of course, it's a serious line. Knight d7, yes, it's the best move. And now two moves, as you said. Yes, knight f3 and bishop b5.
But how would you feel if you would have now this position on the board in your game? How would you feel with black?
I think I will feel myself good here because I played a lot of years when I was a bit more young. I played French, and in French, it's typical position for French. We can take on c5 after knight f3. It will be our move, and after bishop c5, knight c5 is standard position for French, but pawn on f2, not on f4, and I think it's not so. With pawn on f2, our position more safe eating probably. I don't know, and other pieces is also stay well. Of course, we can't compare it for absolute. It's not absolutely same position, but pawn structure is French, of course. And for example, where we can get it in French. Just sorry, I would like to back to knight c3, knight f6. It's like here he played f4, c5, knight f3, and we play, I don't know, no, bishop e3. Now the main move is not knight d4, of course, queen b6 is main move. It's like we take here and play bishop c5. It's something like that, but with knights. Okay, difficult to compare, but pawn structure is same. Okay. Back to our opening. And here, bishop e3, knight f3, bishop c5. So it's not the same, but very similar. Okay, what he can to do? Knight bd2. Knight bd2, or maybe queen d4 is also interesting with queen g4 idea. Maybe it's more interesting. Okay, if he play normally knight bd2, we play knight e7, knight b3, logical move, and but no need take on b3. No need take on b3. We can play any move. Queen c7, maybe bishop d7.
Why don't you want to take on b3?
Because I don't want to open file A, and because I think it's pawn on b3 stay just better than on a2. It's double pawn, but it's not bad for white because okay, double pawn is normal. It's this opinion that double pawn is bad, but no, double pawn is normal because you can play b4. Next move could be b3 if it's necessary, and here is line A is open. It's also important. No need to take on b3, and we can play bishop d7, for example, and after knight c5, queen a5, bishop d3. We can change bishops. So it's a better version of French, what I show you before. Much better. That's why we're ready to play it. If he play queen d4, and what his idea? If you play, for example, knight e4, after knight d2, it's not good French, because when he take on d2, queen d2, and now development is not good. Knight e7. In previous line, we already changed bishops, yes, but here we just play bishop d7, and now white is better, of course. Seriously.
Some extra tempi, yeah.
Yes, because now no time for bishop b5. He can play a4, for example. Where is bishop b5? Just worse position. So it's not our idea. After queen d4, the best move is queen b6. Just protect knight, and if he play knight bd2, knight e7, knight b3. Now we can take on b3, but maybe more interesting knight e4 move with knight c6 idea. If queen b6, a b6, double pawn is good. We know that already.
But are you sure that these pawns are good with b6, b7 isolated
I'm
pawns?
sure, because it's not a weak pawn. It's more pluses than minuses here. Because we have knight c5 move if it will be necessary, and of course very important that we have line a3, for example, bishop d7. How you play bishop d3? Maybe f6. f6. No problem with pawn. Okay, pawn on a7, pawn on b6. For whom it's important? But more important than he spent temp a3. a3, he spent temp. Because, okay, what to do with pawn a? a3 will be necessary now or in future. So
Yeah.
it's not a problem to play with double pawn. Double pawns. But if you want to, you can play knight d7. It's also normal. It's also normal. But after queen b6, I think the same, the best play, the best move is a b6. But after knight b6, it's normal. But the best move still a b6. But okay, if it's not a problem to play with double pawn, okay, you can play knight e4. If he play, yes, here no good moves. If he play, for example, knight c3, logical move, yes. If queen b2, rook b1, knight e7, and maybe the most interesting plan is long castle, protect pawn b2, but knight c6 or castle is normal, and it's a just position. No bishop d3 move. It's very important. No, it's possible, but it's not good, because we always can take bishop. Maybe better to start from f6 move, but knight d3 always our idea.
Isn't there, yeah.
For example, if he will play knight a4, now time for take bishop. Queen d3. Any move is good. Queen a5, queen c7. Okay, just good position.
Okay, very well.
So it's one game exists here, but next move knight c6, and so it's also good French for us. If he play after queen b6, a4, last try with a5 idea, we can play. If you play knight e7, a5, queen c7, knight e3, some questions to us exist, but it's also normal position. Maybe we can play bishop d7, but knight b5, yes, it's some chances for not for advantage, for something. But after a4, I think we can play stop him play a5. It's after a5, no questions, just good position. Bishop b5, bishop d7.
And b5 square is not important, you think?
No, it's important, but it's not so big problem for us. More pluses than minuses after a5. Take, knight b5, okay, but we change bishops. He can't use square root b5 for free. We change bishops, it's good for us, and now if castle, take, just normal position. Maybe black is better already. So it was knight f3. So I can't find any problem here for us.
So we can say that it's a harmless line, yeah? Not so dangerous.
Not so dangerous. Maybe bishop, not maybe. Bishop b5, the most interesting line. Knight f3, it's nothing. Just positional equal. If you just so no need to study a lot of lines. Just compare it with French, and it will be much better version of French opening. Bishop b5. Bishop b5 is another story, of course, because white save pawn. What to do? No panic. Play knight e7. What's the best? Bishop d4. But most common way here, knight f3, according to statistic. We can start from knight f3. What's the best move here? Knight a5 immediately or a6? We can include a6 move. If knight a5 is good, no need to think about a6, I think. But it's options also. Okay, but knight a5 is also good. And now if he play bishop d4, we can play check and a6, and our position looks better. Because we take pawn c5 back, and absolutely no problem, probably better. For us, the most critical line is b4. And now a6. Important move. Bishop a4 and a5. We can take on a3, but it's same. We can start from a5, b c3 necessary. And now we can take f3. And now very good development way g6. G6.
Why did we play a6?
G6? Sorry, could you repeat?
Why did we play a6 at move?
Yes, here. Because if you play a5 immediately, c3, and after a, b, c, b, bishop is not hanging. It's also possible. I think it's also normal position for us.
Let's say we play g6 here.
Yes, I prefer to bishop on a4 than on b5. That's why I play a6. But maybe it's not only one way. You can play a5, it's also possible, yes. You can take on a3 and play a5. But a6, it's maybe not the best, but one of the best for sure way for us. A6, bishop a4, now a5, c3, take, and now we can play g6. Okay, we can get it from with bishop on b5, but it looks slightly better if he's bishop on a4, as I feel. But maybe it's nothing, because maybe it's same, because after castle, bishop g7, his pawn is very weak. If he will play c6, it will be same. So maybe no answer for your question, because it could be same. Bishop c6 and rook b8. Rook b8, not so important where's his bishop. Probably b5, castle. We won't take pawn. Bishop d7, bishop d7. a4 necessary. And now we can play queen c7, but probably the best move is f6. f6. Take, and we have good compensation, because he can't move by knight. And I don't know, maybe rook a2, queen e7. We have two bishops. We can attack pawn c3. We have a center. I think black is okay here. What else? But if you want, we can check a bit second options without a6. For example, a5, c3, take, and now we can play bishop e7. Not.
And what is g6?
After g6, yes, it will be same in line what I show you before, but he can play castle probably. Bishop g7, an additional line is queen d4. And now a b
Okay.
without them.
Yeah, no
With bishop
a4.
on
Yeah.
a4, yes, it's also possible. It's also normal position after castle. But okay, we have only one move, so we need to choose something. It's also possible, but maybe here we can switch to bishop e7. I don't know, a lot of lines. Difficult to say what is better. All line is possible. It's also good position. For example, a3 or what, queen c7, queen d4, f6. It's also good. Bishop d7, maybe bishop d7, knight bd2, f5. Also compensation. After knight e5, bishop f6. After queen e5, no, it's also possible. Knight e5. We can play. It looks not the best, but it's also equal after bishop e5.
Okay.
So a lot of ways. I have no recommendation, but when I analyze it, I wrote a6 move. Yeah. A6 as the best, but probably it's not only one way. What else? Knight e7. Yes, it was knight f3 move. If he played b4, b4 is same reaction. Knight f5, just transpose to knight f3. It's not critical line. If c3 is tricky move, because if you play knight c6 here, it's not a mistake, but after b4 his position, he save pawn on c5, and we can take another pawn, and that a4, maybe it's slightly better for white. Maybe it's not advantage, but some initiative exists. Maybe after c3 the best move a6 immediately, because if now bishop a4, we play knight c6, and after b4 it's big difference, because after knight a5, if he play f4, we have attempt knight c4.
So here a6 bishop f4 is important. In the other case it was not decisive. Here it's very important. Yeah.
Yes. Now after f4 we have knight c4 move.
Yeah. No bishop c4. Yeah.
Yes. And if he play bishop d7, okay, bishop d7, it's another story. We can take knight f3, knight f5, bishop d4, take, pawn up, but after b6, full compensation. Take. Of course, after b4, we play a5. After cb, queen b6, attack pawn. And what to do? Queen b3 is probably only move. Here we have a lot of moves. We can take on b3, we can play rook b8, maybe bishop b4 enough for equal. But maybe we are better. How much? Okay, maybe slightly better. Because if he take on b6, rook b6, and play b3, rook c6, this looks better for black. Full compensation, maybe better. So it's not so good for white. C3, a6, good move. So after bishop a4, one more. After bishop a4, we play knight c6. And after before knight a5, f4, knight c4 possible. If he take on d7, we also good, because compensation. Okay.
Very good.
Very simple. Just remember about a6 move after c3. Yes, bishop d4. Bishop d4 is the best, I think.
The best for the engine, I see.
Yes. For people, knight f3 is main move, but we already checked it. Bishop d4.
So knight f3 is the most common continuation according to statistics.
Yes.
Bishop d4 is the top engine's choice.
Yes. Bishop d4. Now we have two moves. We can play knight a5 or knight c6. Probably we can play e6, but no need to play e6 here, because what pluses of that? After bishop a4, for example, knight c6 is normal. take, before, now it's same, after a5 it's same. So it could be a6, bishop e4, knight c6, it's absolutely same. a5, a3, bishop a6, f4 probably, and after f4, g5, and position is very unclear. Of course, f4 is not only move, but it's the best for engine. Knight f3 looks strange because no castle. I have knight e2, queen b8. We attack 2 pawns. Our position looks good. After f4, g5. So he can't play normally. Knight f3, no castle. Knight e2, no pawn. After f4, g5. It's one way. If you think that it's too complicated, you can play more simple. You can play knight f5.
But what do you prefer, knight c6 or knight f5? What is your feeling about the final position after g5? Can we go back a bit? Like knight
Maybe
c6?
knight f5 more easily knight f5. Yes, but it depends of day. If I want to play more complicated, maybe I will play.
But what is your feeling after g5 in that final position?
Oh, it's depend of time.
Can we see it one moment? Knight c6?
Yes, knight c6. Yes, f4, g5. Maybe on the morning I will feel myself good. In the evening, maybe not so good. Depend of how you feel yourself. Sometimes our choice depend of our physical conditions. And for example, if I'm ready to play, if I want to play, I have a lot of energy, I can play maybe Sicilian, yes, neither. If I feel myself not so good, I will play another line. For example, Karakan. Okay, it's joke, of course, but it's same strongest lines, and difficult to say. But okay, after g5, now after 3 g4, of course, it's more complicated position. Because it's unusual positions, and I really must be ready for unusual positions in generally or in a special day. So in concrete day or concrete situation, if I play for win, maybe I better to play this line, because here is one mistake is very important. Any mistake is very important here. Maybe if I will play for win, maybe I can play that. But if I want to play more safety, more solid, I can play knight f5. So if for solid play, knight f5. C3 looks necessary, looks the best, because if knight f3, I just play queen a5, knight c3, a6, no problem. At least no problem. C3, bishop e7, knight d2. If knight f3, castle, before a5, transpose to line before.
But actually, why don't you play a6 here? Why don't you include a6 instead of bishop e7? Because usually a6 was not bad for us, yeah?
If you play 6, bishop a4, and now bishop a7, knight f3, castle, maybe he will play bishop c2 here. And it could be better than bishop d3. Because
Okay, some extra ideas. Okay.
Yes, because if you take on c5, no need to play by bishop. You can just go to castle, knight bishop c2, knight c5. So you all play knight bd2, but with bishop on d3 we play knight c5. It looks like temp. We do not afraid bishop e5, but that's why it looks as temp. No need to play e6. It's just after e6 we give to opponent more options. I think.
But it's very important to remember, yeah, because sometimes we play a6, sometimes no, yeah. So against the c3 and knight f3 line, we play a6. Against bishop d4 line, we don't play a6, yeah. So better to remember when to include a6, when not, yeah. Not so easy.
Yes. But here, okay, we play bishop e7. Knight, if knight f3, castle, before e5. We will check it with second line. Our second line will be before it transposed. So knight f3, bishop e7, transpose to next line. If he play, okay, before here, castle, knight f3, it's our position. In both line a5, castle, take. Queen c7, not good, because after a3 we spend time, and maybe now white is better, because b6, bishop d7, cbs looks better for white.
Yeah, of course.
No need to play queen c7. We will play b6 immediately. cb, we are better. c6 the best, knight b8. Now queen c7, our next move. If he play, how to play, I don't know how to play here. Just take pawn back and good
position, yeah.
So before, that's why probably the best move after bishop e7, knight d2. Knight d2, castle, and knight b3. Protect pawn. If before is not good. a5, standard reaction, a3, b6. Same idea. c6, knight b8. Maybe we are better already, because it's like in the previous slide, we will take pawn and no problem after that. Maybe better for us already. So the most interesting move, knight b3, the most logical move, he protect pawn. He tried to play with pawn. If you play queen c7 here, he will play knight f3, not bishop d7, knight f3, and after knight c5. Unfortunately, our position is not good. He will play bishop c5, not knight c5. If knight c5 is a huge mistake, because we take here, and after cd, queen e5 check. He take by bishop, of course, and now after knight c5, queen c5, bishop d3, his position is better, of course. Knight e7 is good French.
Because bishop on d3, yeah, stays well.
Yes, and all piece is good, and our development is not good. Knight on e5 is not good. But after knight f3, after knight b3, it's very, very important moment. We need to remember that we play here b6.
Typical move, yeah.
Yes,
always.
Very important move. If he take on b6, well, he must do something, or c6 or cb6. Bishop d7 is not good. Bishop d7, queen d7, and just compensation. Bishop b6, a lot of ideas. If he play cb6, we take knight, queen d4. If knight d4, just queen b6. We can check it a bit. Queen b6, good compensation. Knight f3. And now, no need to play knight c5. The best move is f6. Knight e5 is our threat. Bishop d7, queen e2. And now we can play. Normally it will be, it's just compensation after any move. For example, bishop e8 with bishop g6 idea. Or we can play bishop c8. It's also very interesting, because we stop castle, and it's also a good position for us. No problem here. If he play after knight d4, if he take by knight, by queen, now knight b6. But it's not only move here. We can try to play f6 also. Maybe it's more interesting. Bishop d7, what else? Queen d7, knight f3. Knight f3 necessary move, because if he play knight e2, we can play knight bishop a6, and he needs support. Pawn e5, knight f3 is the best, but after knight f3, of course, we play bishop a6. It looks like compensation.
Of course, yeah. Mhm.
Very complicated position, and it could be risky for white. But knight b6 also possible. Knight f3, just queen c7, positional compensation. It's like, okay, in some openings, like in Benke, we sacrifice pawn for rooks, for rook b8, for rook c8. Here we have it. And we have also two bishops. That's also compensation. Rook b8, knight c4, but I think previous line is more interesting. But if you want to play knight b6, you can. Okay, generally it's okay. If he play after b6, c6, we play knight c5. Knight f3 looks the best. Queen c7. And if he play castle, we play a6. Looks very good for us, but it's not all. After castle,
Yeah, castle a6, yeah, take and
yes, looks very. But he can play g4. It's an interesting move, very critical move. Our reaction is knight d4, of course, cd4, and now, please do not forget, very important move, a6. A6, very important move. Without that move, some problems could be. Because, okay, I show you one alternative. We can play f6, but it's too much problem. f6, dc5, if dc5, f5. It's our idea.
what is the evaluation here?
Good position. Not worse. Not worse. Maybe equal. But after f6, I'm afraid that he can play castle. And after castle or ef6. And of course, it's risky position for us. But okay, it's interesting line. F6, we can analyze it. But for us, more important, if you find equal or not. F6 just interesting options, but A6 is more solid, of course. Bishop E2, because now we play with same material, and we can evaluate it. Castle, Bishop D7, just equal. So if you want to get complicated position, you can play F6, but it's risky. But here, it's just normal position. No need to explain why we are not worse. So
yeah, this looks like a very practical solution to bishop e3 line, yeah, because not so dangerous line.
Not so dangerous, but sometimes we need to play very well.
Especially I think it's difficult to remember when to include a6 and not to include a6, yeah.
Yes.
So remember, guys, if white plays c3 at move 7 or b4 or knight f3 at move 7, you include a6. Only against 7 bishop d4. The best engine move, you don't include a6, yeah. So that's important.
That line is not so long. I think it's really to remember all tricks.
Manageable, yeah. Okay, so Alexei, thank you a lot for this video, for this lesson. This was only the start of dc5 because we have a lot of other important lines to see together, and we wait you in the next lesson.
Thank you very much. Thank you for attention. Goodbye.
Bye.